Good morning, everyone. Take a moment to think about your smartphone. It might be in your hand, in your pocket, or maybe even sitting on the table in front of you. Now, let me ask you, how many times have you checked it today? 10 times? 20? Lost count already? Now, imagine a world where that device doesn't exist. Not just no smartphones, no phones at all. No electricity. No internet. Sounds almost unimaginable, doesn't it? Let's take a journey together. Picture life in the 21st century. With a smartphone, you can call someone across the world in seconds. You can instantly share pictures, send videos, or search for any information at the tap of a screen. Need to get somewhere? GPS has your back. Feeling bored? Thousands of entertainment options are at your fingertips. Hungry? An app can deliver food to your door. Smartphones have transformed our lives into a whirlwind of convenience and connectivity. But now, let's go back in time, way back to a world before the invention of the telephone or even electricity. What would life be like? Well, let me paint you a picture. If you wanted to communicate with someone, you'd have to write a letter, not an email, not a text, a physical letter. You'd sit down, put pen to paper, and maybe pour your heart into every word. Then you'd hand it off to a messenger or the postal service and hope it reached its destination. It could take days, weeks, or even months. By the time your letter arrived, the information might no longer even be relevant. Can you imagine waiting weeks to tell someone something urgent? And what about finding information? Forget Google. If you needed to know something, you'd turn to books if you had access to them. Or you'd ask the local expert, someone in your town or village who might have the answers you needed. News traveled slowly, by word of mouth, newspapers, or town criers. How about entertainment? No Netflix, no YouTube, not even radio. People entertained themselves by telling stories, playing instruments, or gathering around a fire to talk. Social interactions were face-to-face, and evenings were lit by candles or oil lamps. What's fascinating is that life without technology wasn't necessarily worse. It was just different. People had more direct human interactions. They wrote letters that became cherished keepsakes. They valued community because they relied on each other in ways we often don't today. But of course, it was also harder. Communication was slow. Information was limited. Yes, limited. And many tasks that take us minutes today could take hours or even days. Now, back to our smartphones. They connect us to the world, but do they sometimes disconnect us from the people right next to us? Think about the last time you sat in a room where everyone was staring at their screens. Did you feel truly connected in that moment? On the other hand, could you imagine trying to navigate today's fast-paced world without these devices? So here's the big question. Are we better off now with all this technology, or was life richer in some ways before it existed? What do we gain and what do we lose? I'll leave you with this thought. Our smartphones are tools, incredibly powerful ones. They shape how we live, work, and connect. But perhaps the challenge for us today is not just to use them, but to ensure they don't use us. What if we combine the best of both worlds? The deep connections of the past and the infinite possibilities of the present. Thank you, and I hope this sparks some interesting thoughts and conversations.